This method is used to replace damaged and lifted lands. The damaged lands are replaced with new lands. The new lands are bonded to the circuit board surface using epoxy. The minimum skill level needed to complete this procedure reliably is advanced. The conformance level reached when this procedure is completed properly is medium. See the web page for a list of the tools and materials required to complete this procedure. The procedure follows. Step 1. Clean the area. Step 2. Remove the defective land and a short length of the connecting circuit, if any. Step 3. Use the knife and scrape off any epoxy residue, contamination, or burned material from the board surface. Use caution. Abrasion operations can generate electrostatic charges. Step 4. Scrape off any solder mask or coating from the connecting circuit. Step 5. Clean the area. Step 6. Apply a small amount of liquid flux to the connection area on the board surface and tin with solder. Clean the area. The length of the overlap solder connection should be a minimum of 2 times the circuit width. Step 7. The area for the new pad on the board surface must be smooth and flat. If internal fibers of the board are exposed or if there are deep scratches in the surface, they should be repaired. Refer to appropriate procedure. Step 8. Select a replacement land that most closely matches the land to be replaced. Step 9. Cut out and trim the new land. Cut the length to provide the maximum allowable circuit overlap for soldering. Minimum 2 times the circuit width. Note: the new replacement land may be trimmed from the copper sheet. Step 10. Mix the epoxy and apply a small amount to the surface where the new land will be placed. Step 11. Place a piece of high-temperature tape over the top surface of the land. Place the new land into position on the circuit board surface using the tape to aid in alignment. Step 12. Cure the epoxy per Procedure 2.7 Epoxy mixing and handling. Step 13. After the epoxy has cured, remove the high-temperature tape used for the alignment. Carefully clean the area and inspect the new land for proper alignment. Step 14. If the new land has a connecting circuit, apply a small amount of liquid flux to the lap, solder joint connection area, and solder the circuit from the new land to the circuit on the circuit board surface. Use minimal flux and solder to ensure a reliable connection. Tape may be placed over the top of the new land to prevent excess solder. Note: if the configuration permits, the overlap solder joint connection should be a minimum of 3 mm from the related termination. This gap will minimize the possibility of simultaneous reflow during soldering operations. Refer to 7.1 Soldering Basics. Step 15. Remove the tape and clean the area. Step 16. Mix the epoxy and coat the lap solder joint connections. Cure the epoxy per Procedure 2.7 Epoxy mixing and handling. Note: additional epoxy can be applied around the perimeter of the new land to provide additional bond strength. Use caution. Some components may be sensitive to high temperature. Step 17. Carefully remove any excess epoxy inside the plated hole using a ball mill or drill bit. Turn the ball mill or drill bit by hand to prevent damage to the wall of the plated through hole. Step 18. Install the proper component and solder in place. Note: this method is used to replace a damaged or missing land, but the new land will not have an intermetallic connection to the remaining plated hole. The solder joint of the replaced component will restore the integrity of the electrical connection, or an eyelet or bus wire may be used. See plated hole repair procedures. Step 19. Apply surface coating to match prior coating as required. Evaluation. Step 1. Visual examination. Step 2. Measurement of new pad width and spacing. Step 3. Electrical continuity measurement.